Hello and welcome to the New World Review. I'm Grand Line Waifu and today I'm putting on my glasses because this is the whatever time it is wherever you are news. This episode will contain many a spoiler, there may be liberal use of the word Kurapika, there may be many reflections on the beauty that is Melody. Melody deserves your thumbs up, Liam trolling me deserves your thumbs down. Let's see those thumbs up! Liam, no trolling, because it will result in an immediate thumbs down. Today we're discussing episodes 44 and 45 of Hunter x Hunter and prying it open to suck out the juicy musical story within. And here's Tonpa in the field.
I think you'll find I've been gone for at least one full arc. Could you untie me, please? I'll give you a poopy beverage.
And that was Tonpa. Remember him? Me neither. Let's head into the field again, this time over to Kurapika, who has eyes on the situation. Kurapika? Red eyes. Very red eyes. Kurapika? Let's skip the news and head to the spoilers. Episode 44. Setting up an arena of bodies, we watch the best of the best hash it out. Or theoretically, anyway. It was really enjoyable seeing the surprise on each of the faces as they pulled out some of their stronger abilities and got to work trying to defeat their foe. There was more of the gore that we saw in the last episode, but to see our Wolverine friend Uvo decide to have a Goku-esque Super Saiyan moment was pretty fascinating. It's becoming pretty clear that the original exam was the tamest thing we're going to see of this series, though there's just a lot of ick to deal with. Gore isn't a problem for me, but it's interesting to see the progression and how that progression is happening with this series compared to, say, Pokemon or Harry Potter. In Harry Potter, every book got progressively darker until the climax, and in Pokemon, well, Ash just won something. Good job, Ash. Here, we haven't even had enough episodes to get through an entire year, and our audience must have aged up in order to really comprehend both the intensity of the emotions, why they're happening, and the gore that they're being exposed to. I'm not a parent, but it would be interesting trying to navigate the clear changes in what I'd guess we'd call darkness. Some people use gore as a measure, which is why I keep bringing it up, of how awful people are. I use the concept the gore stands for. The fact that everyone involved was grossed out by the idea of the leeches was entertaining, but there was more to it than that. It made clear how icky the concept was, but then they qualified it in a way that only someone mature enough to understand pain and how it works would really be affected by it. And there's something about Hunter x Hunter that I really like in this way. The fact that, like a Disney movie, there's something for everyone. Young kids love color and sound. This show has color and sound. It also has gore. Teenagers often revel in gore. Then it has the depth of emotion and the variations in art form to make it appeal to adults, and I really appreciate all of those aspects. Speaking of emotional depth, when that Phantom Troupe tattoo was revealed and Kurapika's heartbeat escalated, I thought things were going to go down right there and then. I thought all sorts of things were about to become a serious problem because Kurapika's in the opening credits. Were they about to pull a Game of Thrones on me and kill him off? What happens when he sees Hisoka's fake tattoo and tries to use his chains on him? That's a serious issue given he's attached himself to them. I'm sure we'll come back to that, and if we don't, what were they thinking? At first I thought the rest of the troupe just didn't care if Wolverine lived or died. That was my first assumption. Then I realized they do care. They actually do care, even if it's just pride. They know he can handle himself, or at least they suspected he could. They didn't think it was possible for anyone else to kidnap one of them, yet here we are. Good job, Kurapika. You're crazy. But we're not there yet. Right now, let's discuss the fight between Uvo and the recently deceased Shadow Beasts. First things first, everyone was grossed out by the leeches, right? Not just me? Okay, good. Depositing eggs in someone's stomach? Ew. We're still ewing together, right? Good. Ew. The Shadow Beasts, like everyone else who has some kind of power in this show, apparently other than Melody, seems to enjoy torturing people. Sure, they have their different flavors. Kurapika likes to torture Troopers. Gon likes to torture anyone it would be fun to see flounder. Hisoka likes to torture those who get his swing going. But this level of torture is eventually their downfall. Why? Well, I was watching that wonderfully camp movie Van Helsing last night, the one with Hugh Jackman. Kate Beckinsale's character, I forget her name, Anna, has this great line. I think if you're going to kill someone, do it. Don't just stand there talking about it. It's artistically fun to find ways to give an audience torture, apparently, but it leaves one very open to someone literally biting your face off. It seems odd that they didn't expect that could be a thing. To be fair, I also didn't consider that could be a thing, so maybe I'm not one to talk. Something I'm interested in is the shift in art. As we now know what Ren looks like and how it's used, there's no need anymore to show it being used unless it's very specifically more powerful than the people being affected by it, or if it's an extraordinary usage. I'll give you a moment to go over that. Because, yeah, I don't know if did I confuse myself? I'm also interested in the way we're using music to add to the creepy vibe, and now that the music is being manipulated by Melody, there's this beautiful meta aspect aspect to it, in which we can fool ourselves into thinking she can hear all the orchestration of this show. The vocal sliding and harmonics involved in seeing the shadow beast defeated was intense. The use of voices in there rather than instruments was reminiscent of the fact that there are actually people here, observing. There's an audience and they're all afraid and concerned by what's happening. Then there's a sound wave and everything gets worse. Everything gets more heightened. It makes everything so clear. Kurapika's very quickly learning that it's important to know who you're fighting, know who you're up against. But First he loses it, and Melody brings he and everyone else back from all the different emotions they're having. Seeing that made me wonder how she would deal with his sound situation, the sound wave, the sonic boom sort of thing, but also whether she could do it if she herself is distressed by what's happening. The only thing we've seen of Melody is concern, not distress. We haven't seen her panic, and I'm kind of interested in what that would look like. I have one more thing to say. For now, for this episode, anyway. The restraining middle finger is the most metal thing I've ever heard. Linking it to your own heart is the most metal thing I've ever heard and is incredibly dangerous, but hey, more recklessness is exactly what we need. All he needs is some more hair gel and maybe some sharper lines to his special dress and he's ready to go. Just like me, onto episode 45. The shadow beasts are no more. The silhouettes we were introduced to about 2 episodes ago were basically useless other than to highlight how powerful these foes are. Honestly, they did that job to an okay degree. The major issue with them was that they were just silhouettes and we had no real emotional connection to them. How powerful they were was simply because we were told they were powerful. We had no knowledge of what they might actually be and how they might actually act in real life. Generally, Hunter x Hunter has a great show don't tell appeal, but I think that might be why I so dislike the liberal use of silhouettes to describe power. We got shown some faces and just as quickly those faces were gone. They literally dived in Marvel style and that's all we saw of them until a magic vacuum cleaner was contemplating eating them. That Owl could shrink people was a great comedy interlude, especially since Nobunaga, I'm bad with names, Nobunaga had literally just complained about the fact that they were all in a small car. There was a really interesting point around here though. When he got out, he yelled at them and was admonished for doing so. It seems there's a very specific rule set involved in being part of the Phantom Troupe, despite the idea that killing another troupe member gets you in. Do you get to choose? It'd be interesting if Kurapika kills a member of the troupe, whether he's offered the opportunity to join, because that's what we're building up to, right? The idea that he's got a very solid enemy in Ugovin now, and Wolverine wants him dead because he's managed to both kidnap and actually punch through his nen. Hardcore Kurapika is very clearly developing very quickly. His ability to read Wolverine, combined with his complete lack of care of his own well-being, he doesn't need to fear his rage running out, but maybe his time? There was something very concerning about seeing him catching his breath in the hallway. I'll come back to the effect of music soon, but Melody seeing him breathing and smiling at her seemed to cause concern in her, and it caused concern in me too. Is Kurapika learning to control his heartbeat around everyone in general? Or is he genuinely calming down? That's the real question at the moment. Because there's looking calm, presenting calm, and being calm. He could look calm and smile, he could seem calm and smile, but he could then break immediately and surprise attack literally anyone. That's a frightening power, and I think Melody knows that. As someone whose power is to assess heartbeat, she's the only one at present who knows exactly what's going on in Kurapika's body. If he can change that at will, I sense problems. Now back to the music. The themes of this episode were fantastic. The hardcore Kurapika metal of slamming into Ugovin's nose, straight through the nen, or did the spider let him in? No. It seems Kurapika was so fast that he didn't have time to stop it from happening, hence his ego feeling bruised and his vendetta starting. Back in that hallway, before Kurapika even started breathing, Melody's theme was present, suggesting that either Kurapika was thinking of it or that she was nearby. In this case, we don't know which, because she did in fact turn up. I didn't miss, however, the haunting violin at the end, which reminded us of the dark sonata that Melody is trying to deal with. I do wonder what the link is to Kurapika in this. Does it have to do with the fact that Kurapika's hunting something she perceives to be incredibly dangerous? Or is it because this hunt connects the two of them? Possibly both, but the use of Melody's flute theme combined with the strings really amped up the stakes in the moment, despite it being a really simple situation. All Kurapika was doing was answering his phone. We knew it was to meet Hisoka, but it was more than that. It's the intent behind that. And then add to that the operatic tones that came through once Kurapika had gone, and we have the overture to a massacre. Or at least, I thought so. Instead, only the boss is dead. He really should have recognized when they said the Shadow Beast never stood a chance. He even twigged to it and questioned it, didn't change his behavior or act in any way suspicious. Oh well, he's dead now too. Wait, he's dead too now. He's
And Kurapika is apparently at Luna Park, which is a really boring fairground in Sydney with a Hisoka-like face as the logo. I mean, look at that. Look at it. It's basically Hisoka. Maybe that's why I've always found it creepy. It looks down on you like... and basically has a swing at you while you walk in. Speaking of swing, we got a bit of an info dump again, but this time the info dump was quick and clean, and I really appreciated that. As suspected, my love is in fact not a paedophile. He just wants to fight people because he likes to fight people, and who can blame him for that? The idea that the members could change very quickly doesn't seem to ring true, especially given what we've seen of them and how they seem to look after each other. That said, if Hisoka took one out casually a few years back, maybe that's why they're so careful to look after each other. I found it interesting that their focus is on stealing, killing, and philanthropy. Do they have a website? What's their philosophy? Do they have like an About Us page? Of all the things I would have expected of this group of people, that's not it. Though having said that, given Ugoven was okay with letting the others go, if he was being genuine, maybe that actually is something they do. Too late now. Wolverine's real mad at Kurapika, so mad he used his abs to break out of metal braces and his head to smash through a doorway. That is a man who wants out. And I'm going to follow his lead since he left such a big opening and say that's it from me. If you enjoyed what you've heard and want to see more, click on this thing, maybe this, click on this, grab a sandwich and have a great day.